Homework 28. We start off with something like this: the square root of 3 over the square root of 5. And neither of these are perfect squares, and neither of them simplify. But there's a rule in simplifying square roots that says you're not allowed to leave a square root in the denominator. And the reasons for that might not seem apparent at first, but it's kind of like simplifying fractions. How many different ways are there to write 1/2? Well, one person might write 3 over 6. I might write 5 over 10. Somebody else might say 20 over 40. And all of these fractions are equivalent, but this one is reduced as far as it will go. So if we're working a problem and everybody comes up with these fractions that are all equivalent to 1/2, to ensure that everybody gets the same answer, we have simplifying rules. And we just pull out factors that appear in both the numerator and the denominator, and we can reduce down to 1/2. Now, there are an infinite number of ways to write 1/2, and only one of them is considered simplified. Well, there are an infinite number of ways to write this also, and to ensure that everybody gets the same end result, we have simplifying rules. And the one that we're dealing with today is do not leave a square root in the denominator. And the fix for this is pretty simple. When you have a square root in the denominator, you multiply the bottom by the root. But that's going to change the fraction, so I have to do the same thing to the top. Now, what is root 5 divided by root 5? It's just the number 1. And any number times 1 is itself. So if I multiply by root 5 over root 5, I haven't changed anything other than its look. So the top is the square root of 3 times 5, which is the square root of 15. And then the bottom is the square root of 25, which is 5. So I get root 15 over 5. Now the nice thing about this is, anytime you take a square root and you times it by itself, the answer is just the number on the inside. So if I had the square root of 7 over the square root of 3, I would multiply this by root 3 over root 3. The top becomes root 21, and the bottom becomes 3, because root 3 times root 3 just basically cancels the square root. Okay, one more. If I had the square root of 6 over the square root of 5, I would multiply by root 5 over root 5, and I get the square root of 30 over 5. And you do have to be a little bit careful and see, does this simplify? But 30 is 2 times 3 times 5, and there are no pairs there, so on this worksheet nothing's going to simplify. All right, good luck.